Recording in progress.
Very good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are in the world. You're watching live or you are watching me offline, my recording video. I very warmly welcome to my online lifelong study circle, where we try to create an effortful new life, and we try to fill the gaps in our life which remained unfulfilled, which my society, your society did not teach very well, and we didn't know about that. So 1 hour in a week can help us to create an effort full events in my life to very great and attractive life, and also to develop myself the gaps, fulfilling the gaps in my personality, in my character, and better understanding, better awareness about myself and also the world outside of me. So therefore, my name is Maratib Ali Shad. .com is my blog website where I write, I shared lot of stuff related to personal development and spirituality, time management, self-help, philosophy, psychology, um, life coaching, relationship management, some religious stuff as well sometime, and lot of other things. So you can join my YouTube channel as well for watching the previous recording. There should be a description below under my video somewhere. So let's start today's session. Today is actually week number 5. We have started online learning course about introduction to advanced listening skill. The advanced listening skill is a very important topic for everyone, but unfortunately we don't focus it. We don't learn to listen, how to listen. We don't learn it. So therefore always there are barriers between speaker and the listener, and these barrier we never removed, and these are the blocks of blocks of a lot of barriers between you and your speaker, between your listener and you as a speaker. So we need to learn that how we can remove this barrier so that we can be the better person. In the first session, I gave you introduction. Then the second week, I gave you the third alternative idea about how we can create synergy. And the third week, we did learn a lot of other things like self-awareness. How does it contribute in our listening skill? Then the week 4, we discuss about empathy listening. And the empathic listening is a key to create a genuine relationship. And also we did learn the character and communication, how they work together. So in order to become a great communicator or a great listener, how your character speaks eloquently, how your character speaks greater than anything else. So even you are a poor listener or poor speaker even, but you have a strong character, sometimes you get the sale deal. Sometimes you convince uh, to your towards your wife or your husband. Even you are a poor speaker or poor communicator, because of your strong in and integrity of character, you get respect in your circle of influence or circle of concern as well. So character is very important. However, character only does not work alone. So you have to be a great communicator, and communication cannot be complete without listening, because the listening contributes 60% of communication. We already learned about this. Today we are specifically are going to read a couple of paragraphs from the greatest and your on my favorite book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, and my one of the most influential author, Stephen Covey, who is no more with us, but his teaching, his spiritual presence is everywhere, even include with me and with his fan followers or his students like you or me. So let's start our today's topic. We basically going to um, learn what is the emotional bank account and how the four autobiographical responses make my listening skill more understandably, and it helps me more great communicator. So emotional bank account we are going to and that idea is given by Stephen Covey in his book, where he does refer that every communicator, either as a speaker or as a listener or with body language, you must create a emotional bank account with the other person, so that whenever you can withdraw or you can deposit some emotion, you have a relationship bank account with other person. So even if it is withdrawing that bank account, still you have a courage and you have a technique and skill to how to deposit in that bank account. So you have a greater relationship with your husband, with your spouse, with your wife, with your kids, with your colleague, with your boss, with your customer, and that's an amazing concept he has given. So today we have around five quick paragraph, and we will try to learn what is an emotional bank account mean, and how as a listener I should be uh, have an emotional bank account with every person which I'm interacting. That's very important. And more importantly, it's a good idea because even we all are not perfect, and if we do some mistakes, some do, or if we have some weaknesses, and it may impact the other relationship negatively, then we still have an account so that we can deposit continuously, so that we can fill the gap of withdrawal emotions because of my poor weakness or uh, my error in myself, or to overcome the mistake. So that is a good account. For example, if I did say something bad to my spouse and I should not have spoken with him or her, and he or she is annoyed with me, but since I have an emotional bank account with my spouse, I know how to deposit it. And then I know that I will deposit by doing couple of things, and then so that the all withdrawal emotions because of my silly mistake, I have still control to fill it. So that is a great idea how we can make it. So let's start to read our today's reading. And before we going to reading again, there is another great idea, is a psychological air. Psychological air is an idea that when we are speaking with someone or when we are listening someone, and when we are in genuine listening practice, then it means that we are giving psychological air to the speaker, and the speaker become more intensely and emotionally are engaged, uh, are um, are engaging with you, and that is a great thing. So we basically become a psychological advantage to create a relationship with the speaker, as a listener as well, if we are genuinely listening with empathic passion. So let's try to read it. So I would ask my colleague Jenny if she can start reading uh, Yeah, this paragraph. Yeah, that's right.
In addition, empathic listening is the key to making deposits in emotional bank accounts because nothing you do is a deposit unless the other person receives it as such. You can work your fingers to the bone to make a deposit, only to have it turn into a withdrawal when a person regards your efforts as manipulative, self serving, intimidating, or condescending because you don't understand what really matters to him. Empathic listening is, in and of itself, a tremendous deposit in the emotional bank account. It's deeply therapeutic and healing because it gives a person psychological air. If all the air were suddenly sucked out of the room you're in right now, what would happen to your interest in this book? You wouldn't care about the book. You wouldn't care about anything except getting air. Survival would be your only motivation.
Absolutely. It's a great text and a message from Stephen Covey. I give you a one example from my personal life. Uh, a few days ago, because of my busy schedule, I could not give quality time to my son, and obviously because of a gap of few days, one day I just asked that how you are doing nowadays, how's going your studies, and how's going life, and then he responded just okay, yeah, it's good, okay, no, no. So whatever I'm asking, he just shaking the head, yes, good, thank you. But he is not expressing in form of sentences, and which I want to him speak with me like a friend uh, in details. But because of the gap, uh, and he thought that I will not listen him. He is just shaking the head. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Good. No. Yes. So what I did, instead of being a dad, I consider myself as a friend, and then I try to become a friendly gestures, and try to win his confidence that I'm your friend now, no dad, and let's talk and let's do some gossips and stuff like that. And slowly he start to open, and I start to feel that now he's opening. And after maybe half an hour, when we start to laugh on different things, then he start to hug me, and then I can feel that how when I try to listen him, and when I try to listen him at his own place, instead of being a dad or judge his some wrong or good doings, I avoided it. I completely was a non-judgmental when I tried to become his friend. And then he opened, and then he told me a lot of inside stories of what's going on in school, what going on with his friends, how's the life going in detail, very emotionally, and that's how it worked. So therefore, if you want to become a genuine relationship maker with anyone, you have to give this psychological air, not for just a greedy or some technique you can use, but that must be reflect as a genuine effort from your side to create a relationship. Because in this matter, you cannot create a fake type of empathic passion with someone so that other person open, and then you will pick some of the key thing which you wanted to listen, and then you will start to exploit, or again you will mistrust someone. No, 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 that is a purely innocent activity. And on a human level, we all are innocent, no matter how much we are egoic or what the background we can have. But on a very basic level, we all human being on the planet are very innocent creature. very innocent by mind, by body, by spiritual, and by emotional. We are very innocent. So this, because of this innocency, we engage with each other. Because of this basic humanistic feature on a billions of people on the planet, we interact with each other, we understand each other, and that's the beauty of our survival on this planet Earth as well. Why we are surviving on this planet? Because of this great commonality of all of us. And genuine relationship is also one of the beautiful aspect, and everybody can create genuine relationship with anyone. You don't have to be a blood relative. You don't have to be belongs to the same background. It's nothing. What you must have an empathic, genuine heart, and that heart is for everyone. And once you give this heart to one person, it means you can create with anyone other as well, consciously and effortlessly. And there are many people who have this mastery as well. And uh, uh, so let's try to learn what does it motivate to become um, the to give the psychological air. So it's a great story. The great story is coming in the next paragraph. So let's read the key insight. So I would ask Cynthia if she can read this.
But now that you have air, it doesn't motivate you. This is one of the greatest insights in the field of human motivation. Satisfaction needs not satis, satisfied needs do not motivate. It's only the unsatisfied need that motivates. Next to physical survival, the greatest need of a human being is psychological survival. To be understood, to be affirmed, to be validated, to be appreciated. When you listen with empathy to another person, you give that person psychological air. And after that vital need is met, you can then focus on influencing or problem solving.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great reading. So there is a one important aspect Stephen Covey have just said, that satisfy needs do not motivate. It's a mind blowing fact, actually. So, therefore, if somebody says or think that he or she is satisfied now, or they have fulfilled their life now, then there is no motivation to conquest further, or explore further realities of the life, about nature, about myself, about. So there must be something which is motivating to live in this world, to survive in this world. And that is the instinct of human being, that we remain most of the time unsatisfied. And that is a feature of ourselves. That is a great characteristic in a human being, which drift which drifts us towards something meaningful, which motivates us uh, to explore the meanings of something which we are looking for. And that's why um, uh, he gives the example that if, for example, you are listening or watching to me right now, and wherever you are sitting, if that place is start to suffocate, there is no air, so what you will do? Of course you will go out of the room or out of the place where you are right now, for your physical survival. And you took a step. Why? Because of need of to survive. So therefore, he's saying psychological survival is as important as our physical survival. So we human being must satisfy on a psychological level, and that only we can do with empathic passion, if we do have compassion also. That's why we all people are very much emotional with Jesus Christ, because of his too much empathic and too much big sacrifice he did for us, and he had a pain for us, and blah. Why? Because of it was unconditioned love by Jesus about with us, and that's why we all are attractive towards him, because of this greatest value, or greatest one feature he used to have. The same thing with the with other people, the greatest being on the planet, uh, for example, Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, that he also used to a great listener. He used to um, love everyone unconditionally. Similarly, the Prophet Muhammad, he also used to love everyone unconditionally. There are so many stories which people narrates, which researchers have written in their books about him, that he used to cry for many hours for the sake of love for the people of the planet, for their many other things, because they were the great listener, because they give their life to the to service of the people. So that's the how the great people live in the hearts of many people as well. Let's try to learn from the paragraph which Stephen Covey has just mentioned, and it's a business deal. Is about a business deal. So and where we will learn that how this empathic listening helped a businessman to make a business deal. So if you are in business or sale ending process, so maybe this business um, pa- uh, business related incident may give you some meaning. So I would ask Tinzar, if I'm pronouncing your name, y- are you able to listen, read it for us? Thank you.
Yes, you're correcting spelling my name. Previously, I was buying this person January 9, uh, but I missed the present January 15.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can.
I thought I got this concept at a seminar in Chicago one time, and I instructed the participants to participate actively listening during the evening. The next morning, a man came up to me, almost bursting with news. Let me tell you what happened last night, he said. I was trying to close a big commercial real estate deal while I was here in Chicago. I met with the principal, the actuary, and another real estate agent who had just been brought in with an alternative proposal. It looked as if I was going to lose the deal. I've been working on this deal for over 6 months, and in a very real sense, all my eggs were in this one basket. All of them, I panicked. I did everything I could. I bought out all the stock. I used every strategy I could. The final step was to say, could we delay this decision just a little longer? But the momentum was so strong, and they were so distressed by having this thing going so long. It was obvious they were going to close. So I said to myself, well, why not find it? Why not try this what I learned today and speak first to understand, then to be understood. I've got nothing to lose.
Thank you. Please continue, and until this finish the story.
I just said to the man, let me see if I really understand what your position is and what your concern about my recommendations really are. What you see, I understand them. Then we'll see whether my proposal has any relevance or not. I really try to put myself in his shoes. I'm trying to verbalize his needs and concerns, and he began to open it. The more I sent an except the thing he was worried about, the research he anticipated, the more he opened it. Finally, in the middle of our conversation, he stood up, went over to the phone, and gave his wife. Putting his hand over the mouthpiece, he said, "You called to be." I was totally dumbfounded. He told me, "I am this morning. I say am this morning."
Excellent. Thank
The
you.
main part, sorry,
Yeah, it's a great reading. Thank you. Excellent. Tinzar. Uh, so if you see that the what is the significance of empathic factor, even if we are in business, that how we can transform our sales as well if we try to take our personal interest and reevaluate the our potential client or the prospect about that thing, and that is a great and it happens with many people. Once we have a awareness uh, about the empathic and how we can create the emotional bank account. Stephen Covey itself says further about this, that that gentleman had made a huge deposit in emotional bank account by giving the man psychological air. When income it comes right down to it, other things being relatively equal, the human dynamic is more important than the technical dimension of the deal. That is also in our materialistic and very personality ethics based world, we think sometime, most of the time, that technical things are more important than humanistic dynamics, whereas character or a human impact is very impactful than the technical things as well. Uh, that's the way how we are perceiving the world. The last paragraph for in this, um, let's read it. I would ask Cynthia if you can finish it, and then we will read for four autobiographical responses.
Empathic listening is also risky. It takes a great deal of security to go into a deep listening experience because you open yourself up to be influenced. You become vulnerable. It is a paradox in a sense because in order to have influence, you have to be influenced. That means you have to really understand. That's why habits 1, 2, and 3 are so foundational. They give you the changeless inner core, the principled center from which you can handle the more outward vulnerability with peace and strength.
Yes, thank you. There is an important point which Stephen Covey is saying, that empathic listening is a risky as well, and that is a paradox which unlikely we think that the empathic listening always is great, always is, but there is a risky factor as well, and because it about the open up your feelings, your thoughts, you are going to put someone's shoes, and you are going to experience that person's mind paradigm and approach how that person is going to have, because you want to influence that person, or you are going to resolve a problem with someone. But it is risky because it may impact on your paradigm, your own as well, when you um go in someone's head, and that because of the understanding. So, but he says further, if you have a habit number 1 and habit number 2 and habit number 3, on the back of this first seek to understand habit number 5, first part, then you are okay. It's not risky. It's risk free on that time, because habit 1, 2, 3, which is be proactive, begin with end in mind, and put first thing first. These things gave you actually a very strong core already in your character, so that once you go in someone's head, it won't shake you, or uh, or something which may be riskful for your own or thing as well, or it may risky for the other person as well. How? Because other person is taking a psychological air, and other person is giving you permission, whatever he or she is thinking, a, a genuine feeling, and he or she is trusting on you that you will take care of his words and feelings and paradigms, and of course you will not exploit uh, that person feeling. So it's, in that sense, is a little risky, but foundation of habit number 1, 2, 3 are key for make it risk free. That is a very important thing. The last our section of our this session class is 4 autobiographical responses. Stephen Covey says in his book that when we listen to someone, basically we don't listen from his or her point from frame of reference, or from his or her paradigm. Actually, we listen based on our 4 responses. So either we are evaluating other person's talks, whatever she or he is telling you, or we start to ask question, we probing that person based on my own need, for my own clarity, or we start to give them advice after listening that person, because and or sometime we try to interpret the other person's story in his own experience or own word, and that's we do only. There is no other person's consent, agreement, or understanding about your response. You are giving the response based on your own egoic mind, because you don't care about other. You totally giving a response based on your own character, own personality, own agenda, basically. So my evaluation about other, whether I'm disagree or agree, my questioning about other, which will be of course with my own frame of reference, or even if I'm giving some suggestion or advice to do something, it will be on my own judgment as well. Or even if I try to figure out many stories by interpreting that thing, it will be again my own judgment, because I am interpreting based on my 5 senses, my own background as well. So how we can create empathic listening? And if you see, irony is, even I talk with my wife, or my wife is talking with me, I'm talking with my customer, I'm talking with my cousin, my kids, my parents, my friends. I never exercise any empathic listening, because I'm evaluating them, I'm judging them, I'm asking the question further down, or maybe I'm giving them unconditional advice, or I'm interpreting them. That's how I'm doing, and everybody from us, we all do, and that's why we have very poor relationship, because it's all about my ego. I'm just giving that person, so that person is more in burden now, because that person is telling you the old story or trying to um, or allowing you to go in their head or something, but you are not going their head, you just judging their head based on your own paradigms. And we do all, and we do lose our relationship, unfortunately. We do or we just make a very social, formal, fake type of listening or pretending listening. Stephen Covey sometimes call it pretending listening. Even we are not a good listener on this thing. In order to become a genuine relationship maker, I have to listen beyond evaluation, beyond probe, beyond advice, and beyond interpreting the other person's stories or events of the life, what they are telling you. That is a challenge of today leadership. That is a challenge of you and me, that we have to do this. So let's try to read quicker and then finish our today's class, and then we will continue to learn in detail about what does it mean by evaluation, what does it mean by probing my children or probing my partner or my uh, customer, uh, or advising or interpreting in details next week. Uh, but for introduction, we can read this. So I would ask Jenny if she can read, and the next page Tinzar can read for us. So now let's go to the Jenny, please.
Four autobiographical responses. Because we listen autobiographically, we tend to respond in one of four ways. We evaluate, we either agree or disagree. We probe, we ask questions from our own frame of reference. We advise, we give counsel based on our own experience. Or we interpret, we try to figure people out, to explain their motives, their behavior based on our own motives and behavior. These responses come naturally to us. We are deeply scripted in them. We live around models of them all the time. But how do they affect our ability to really understand?
Absolutely. It's a great reading. Absolutely. The last paragraph of today, Tinzar, if you can read it, please.
If I am trying to communicate with my son, can he feel free to open himself up to me when I evaluate everything he says before he really explains it? Am I giving him psychological air? And how does he feel when I probe? Probing is saying 20 questions. It's autobiographical, it's control, and it's invade. It's also logical. And the language of logic is different from the language of sentiment and emotion. We can play 20 questions all day and not find out what's important to someone. Constant probing is one of the main reasons parents do not get close to their children. How is going, son? Fine. Well, what's happened? What's been happening lately? Nothing. So what's exciting in school? Not much. And what are your plans for the weekend? I'm doing it.
It's a great reading. It is a very similar story with me and my son, which happened. When I was asking a question, he was saying, yes, fine, thank you. And then, that's, I was probing him. I was trying to ask some question. And obviously, as a dad, he was judging me. I'm a dad. And he didn't open until I became his friend and approach him on his level, uh, by making myself as a genuine friend of him rather than pretending dad, as a obviously pretending or fake thing does not matter. If other person will catch very quickly, no matter how quicker or higher, how intelligent or how cleverly you can do. No, it's a world of innocency. You have to exercise this genuinely, then you other person can feel it. uh, so that's it, that's all. We will continue these autobiographical responses in detail. Stephen Covey has written all these four responses with lot of examples. I think he has written 4 5 pages on his book. I will see it if I can all put here, or maybe I will choose some of the paragraph because it will be too much reading for us. So I will bring this from the book. So apart from this, we will continue next week, number 6, autobiographical responses. And if you want to read this, it is page number 245 to 253 from the book. I don't know which edition may you have, but I do have this edition. Uh, I don't know which edition this is, but these all readings are from the habit number 5 um, chapter. Habit number 5 is. Do you have any question, or you want to share something, or um otherwise I will close it and then we will start on new session.
I think that the empathy listening is a bit vulnerable or risky to me. Maybe it happened when I was about 7 years ago. Maybe I don't have that time. I don't have that knowledge about the empathic listening, and I do not have that program. And I talked with my friend, and she was telling me about that her parents are beating him and she's crying, and I listened to her for a long time, and I feel very sorry for her, and at the time I felt very hate for her parents. I think that time is vulnerable to me. Is that correct? That at that situation is risky for me because I feel very sad for the time and I hate her parents.
Yeah. Your voice is a little muffy and it's not very clear. What I have tried to listen and understand it, you're saying when we are trying to, a few years back, when you were trying to approach your parents, then they were missing of this empathic listening. Is that you mean?
No. When I was very young, my friend's parents,
Okay.
uh, they are beating her, and she told me they are beating her for some reason. Actually, I don't know, but I felt very sad and very empathetic for my friend, and I I I I I, I think I am very risky for that empathy listening from her. Now I am nostalgic about my childhood.
Okay. Yeah, it does matter with friends as well. Importantly, because the friends are the genuine relationship with any person. The talks, the psychological air which you cannot get from your parents, your spouse, your children, your any other relationship. You can give this psychological air to your friend, or you can take this psychological air from your friend. So yeah, definitely this is a important thing, and friendship is all about empathic. No friend um, can be a friend if he or she is judging you. if he or she is evaluating you. If your friend is probing you based on his own experience, then he or she is not a true friend. If somebody is trying to interpreting your situation in their own experience, then of course that is not your friend. Friend is the one who feel you as it is, like you are trying to feel. And that is the beauty of friendship as well. But we, unfortunately, in our world, we do have very less people like this. But we should have, definitely. And that only is possible when you will become friend of someone who does not judge your friend. If you are not judging your friend, hopefully they will not judge you as well. If you are not evaluating their friendship or their any incident or story of their life, of course they will not also. So it starts from you. You are the source of change. That's very important. Well, thank you very much, and stay. Just take a break. Have a cup of coffee for 1 minute, and we are starting our second session, which is about very important. Let me introduce this. The process of pain body. We are in week 3, and process of pain body. We are going to read the birth of emotion today. What is emotion and what does it mean? Yeah. So just stay tuned for 1 minute, and we are coming back in 1 minute.
Recording stopped.
So Facebook viewers who are online, I'm going to close this video and with a new topic, which is a pain body. I'm coming back in just less than 1 minute. So you can rejoin me on Facebook again.